grass has been cut, the greens have been rolled, and the playing of the 6th edition of the Clovernook Open is well underway as Chatterbox Sports welcomes you into Clovernook Country Club for the final round of the Clovernook Open. Alongside Tom Brenneman, I'm Luke Brenneman. We have all kinds of the Chatterbox crew on the course today that we're going to throw it to. But what a day. And Dad, if the first 2 rounds are any sign of the finish we're going to have at the Clovernook Open, we're in for a treat.
Yeah, we've already had a number of outstanding scores today. 5 under, 6 under, 7 under. We'll give you a look at the leaderboard here in a second, where a local Cincinnatian, and there are a number of them playing in this tournament. But Homan fires 7 under today. Wes Homan played collegiately at SMU. He's at -11, Mom -11.
Mom just finished up, and he made birdie on 18, so he's your solo leader. Once the online scoring will update, he'll be at 12 under. But before we get into anything too special, on hole 18 right now, there's one of the best stories in all of professional golf. I'll let you take that away.
This young man about to putt right here is 41 years old, born and raised Cincinnati, and his name's Kevin Hall. He was a Big Ten champion at Ohio State, has been pro since 2005. He is the first ever deaf professional golfer. It's one of the most incredible stories. That'll be a tap in for a par. This young man lost his hearing. He was diagnosed with meningitis when he was 2 years old. Meningitis can kill an infant at that age. So you have to take some very, very serious antibiotics. And one of the side effects, it affects about 11% of the kids who take it, is you can lose your hearing. And that's exactly what happened to Kevin Hall. As a 2-year-old here in Cincinnati, he's been at it for a long, long time. He won 3 times last year through the many, many tours. Bangs that one in for a par. But, you know, Luke, it's incredible. His father is his caddy. He's right there. His mother is here. I had a chance to visit with both of them today, and what a beautiful, beautiful family.
What a beautiful day it is at Clovernook Country Club. A little bit windy, a little bit chilly. It's going to be Zach Burry with his birdie attempt. Hit a pretty good one in the fairway. Was not thrilled leaving this one quite a bit short. It's got about 15 to 20 feet here. This thing's going to move to his right.
Burry, a native of Appleton, Wisconsin.
Just missed it. So he'll have that tap-in comebacker to finish his tournament at the Clovernook Open. But the story of this group has to be Kevin Hall. It would be a good sign all week. We're going to talk about guys' stories and the mini tour grind and everything that goes into it. But always warms your heart when you see one like that.
So you try to put in perspective, Luke. I think a lot of people are asking, and look, you know, you lived in Cincinnati your whole life. I mean, I've lived in Cincinnati a lot of my life. This tournament is really only in its 6th year. Explain to everybody, because you're a golfer, you understand that there's basically the major leagues, the PGA Tour and LIV, right? You've got probably AAA is what they call the Korn Ferry Tour, right? And then you've got tournaments like this one, although this is one of the best and one of the richest prize money tournaments like it in the United States. There are tournaments like this for guys who are trying to get to the big leagues, right?
Absolutely. So the Clovernook Open isn't affiliated with any mini tour. That's what really makes this event so special, because of the sponsored money, the charity, and really the city and all the members of this club coming around it and supporting it. And it's a $100,000 purse. So it's always going to be the purses that jump out at you. So you talk about the big leagues, the PGA Tour, $8 to $10 million purses. They're at Quail Hollow this week for the Wells Fargo. That purse is upwards of $20 million for an elevated event. Then there's the Korn Ferry Tour where, hey, that might feel like the minor leagues, but you do have to realize, you take the minor leagues and you compare it to AAA baseball, there's, dozens of teams in that. There's only one tour. So the step down, the Korn Ferry Tour, you're still looking at $1 million purses, right, and guys that are right there, if not, already there. You can make a great living playing on the Korn Ferry Tour your whole life, although the PGA Tour is the dream. So Then you drop down to kind of the European Tour, the American Tour, the Asian Tour, the DP World Tour really jumps out at everybody, and you can get exemptions into the majors and the opens of the world playing on those. But events like this and the affiliated mini tours, they really bring together golfers. We talked to Will Grimmer. He's a Cincinnati native, and he said, I know about 75 to 80% of these guys, and it's hard to not be friends with them if you really think about it, because they're all living the same grind. These are kids who went to any collegiate golf school, whether it's the SEC or a mid-major, and have grinded their way into professional golf, and some of them have gotten glimpses and tastes of the PGA Tour. And we're talking about Will. He played in the U.S. Open before.
Memorial.
So these guys have had pro experience, or at least a vast majority of them, and they're just looking for a couple putts to go their way here and there on Monday qualifiers. And there's not too much of a difference that separates these guys from the best in the world.
And if you're wondering, we talked about a $100,000 purse. The winner gets $20,000. Second place gets $10,000. Third place gets $7,000. I was talking to one of the dads out here before, and I said, hey, you travel around with your son. He says, well, I try to most of the time. He says, it's very expensive. I said, give me an idea of what you spend on a weekend. He says, okay, we're coming in here into Cincinnati. He says, we're from Lexington. He said, so the gas money to drive up here. Okay. He said it costs $900 to get into the tournament, $500 for an Airbnb with 3 other guys, and then your meals. So you've got to win more than $1,500 to make any money. Anything less than that, you're losing money.
And this is one of the bigger purses. We talked about not a official affiliated mini tour event, but you could still categorize it as that. As we go right behind the 18 tee box here, and our first look at 18. This is about a 300-yard drivable par 4, and right here is Michael Balcar. And Michael's had a really good week. He started off that first round, playing some of the best golf of any guys out here, but he's going to finish a little bit earlier than expected after a first round 65. He shot 71 in the second round, and today it's been an interesting scorecard for him. Playing 318 yards today. We've been here for a while, Dad. Only seen one guy run it up to the green so far.
And the thing is surprising, it's 318 on the yardage, but today, because of the rain yesterday, they were forced to move the tee box up about 10 yards, but the wind has shifted. Yesterday, the players had the wind at their back. Today, they're hitting into the wind.
Yeah, so Balcar sitting at 8 under right now. He birdied 15 and 16 after a stretch of bogeys on 11, 13, and 14. He took a healthy hack at that one. Trying to bend that one back into the fairway, but this one does miss the short stuff. So if you're looking at 18 as a whole here, you really want to miss left from the angle on your screen right now. You're going to have a better look at that flag that's tucked into the back right portion of the green. Here's Nick Carlson.
This young man out of Hamilton, Michigan, played collegiately at the University of Michigan, finished 11th in the Big Ten Championship 2 years ago. So he's been turned pro not quite 3 full years. 4 full years, forgive me.
He likes it. Club twirl, and he's just short left of the green, so a good pitching area there. He'll have a lot of green to work with, be able to hit, a bump and run type of shot. And he got that one down there. Most guys landing it in that pitching area, which is the fairway on this short par 4. But nonetheless, we haven't seen too many eagle looks. We saw them from our now leader, Mom.
Yeah.
He had about, 25, 30 feet front edge of the green for eagle, and a nice 2-putt gave him the lead right now, where he currently is the leader in the clubhouse at 12 under par. There's still a ton of golf to be played here, and I will say the wind has died down from when we first arrived this morning. So how much of an advantage would you say that gives these guys that are coming in and going to have to play high-pressure golf for all of a back 9?
Well, all of these guys, they're no different than the guys on the PGA Tour. You've got some, you referenced Will Grimmer, young man out of Marymount, high school, great player at Ohio State. He's not known as a big hitter. And this is probably about average in terms of length. A little better than 6,600 yards out here today. It's not playing particularly long. But it has rained a lot this week. And so you're not gonna get a lot of roll and that kind of thing. The greens are very fair today. They're going to hold if you can get them there because there's been so much rain on them. But this is going to be really, really fun to watch. These last 5, 6, 7 groups come in here because you are really jammed up. You have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 players all within 3 shots of the lead, and most of those players are on 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, so just an update on the leaders. The leaders have currently right about making the turn. Some are on 9. Some have made that turn and moved to hole 10. But when it comes to big numbers, it starts with Wes Homan. How about the number he put up today, a 64 in round 3 to jolt himself atop the leaderboard on your screen right now. And, Mom teed off early. He shot 65-65 in back-to-back rounds 2 and 3 going back to yesterday. Mom started this tournament off with this 72. Not too many guys were over par, I will say, in the opening round on Wednesday. However, it's been a tale of 3 days, and he really had that moving day, which was yesterday with his 65, and did the same exact thing today. But it will be Mackery. Danny Fisher's finished right now, and Daniel Wetterick still has 6 to 7 holes left to play. So a lot of guys in the mix, a couple former champions in there. But while we have a 5 for the U.S. Open, which is, the everyday average Joe hard way, that's probably one of the hardest things to do because you're not just competing with college kids or high school kids. You're competing with the entire world of golfers. And, he shot 65. It's going to take a number like that to be in the mix come next week. Nick Carlson and his caddy are trying to figure out their luck. The course today is playing lift, clean, and place. Therefore, there is a tee on the fringe of the green right here for Carlson's putt. Talked about the course getting a lot of rain. It's moist, it's wet. It's not very warm. Obviously, the sun is out, as you can tell on your screen, but kind of a fall day today. It's a 60, 65 degree day. The wind definitely brings it down if you are in the shade like us right now. But with the lift, clean, and place rules, you do get a club length from where you pick your ball up. Typically, that only matters in the fairway, but here, looks like Carlson's using some strategy as he tries to line up this birdie look from the fringe. This one's going to be quick, coming down the hill, moving away from him as a right-handed player.
Well, he gets to 9 if he makes this. And the leader is sitting at 11. So, they'd have to obviously come back to him. But it'd be a big putt for him. Very big putt. You're a former golfer. What are golfers doing there when they walk up and they put their feet parallel and then they walk up another 2 steps and make their feet parallel again? What are they doing there?
So that is the aim point strategy of reading a putt. So you're also lifting that putter up. Normally they close one eye, and it's a way to read these greens, and some of them feel it's the most precise way in golf. It's a phenomenon that came on, I'd say, a couple years ago, and one of the biggest proponents behind it is live golfer and one of the guys atop the Masters leaderboard a couple weeks ago, Bryson DeChambeau. He's into that high technology and kind of scientific way of going about this very, very strategical game as Balcar will set up here on the 18th.
Again, trying to get to -9 if he can drain this putt.
He misses it just low. So he'll finish his tournament in Clovernook Open at 8 under par, which should easily keep him inside the top 20, maybe even the top 15. He's currently tied for 14th right now, but it was a really good start to the week for Michael Balcar, and he kind of just played around even par golf from there on out. Nonetheless, he does go into Los Angeles next week with some momentum, and he'll be with that Wittenberg golf team. Carlson has taken a long look at this one. I mean, he's moved the tee, he's moved his mark, his caddy's been involved with this read, and for good reason. This is an intricate putt here. It's going to be a little bit of a bump coming off the fringe onto the actual putting surface, and then it should move away from him to his right while catching a lot of that downhill slope.
Again, same boat as we just saw a second ago from Balcar. He knocks this in, he goes to -9.
The group on 18T right now is going to be Jacob Galladay and Adam Horn. They're currently waiting at the tee because nobody can hit their drives until everybody clears this green. Carlson for birdie. He just misses. It's back-to-back putts from this pairing here on 18th that just scared the edge on both putts going opposite directions. So both of these guys will finish their tournaments with pars, as that one toilet bowled in for Will Carlson. Both these guys have caddies today, but we've talked about this, Dad, in the Open, as Balcar's going to set up for his par putt. I'd probably say, what, 20% of these guys out here have caddies for the final round? Just about none of them had caddies in the first round.
Yep.
But you know, as you get closer to that prize pool, you make the cut. This was a 120-player event that was cut down to 40 after the second round. We're going to send this one to Reed on hole 18, or excuse me, away from hole 18 right now, and he's going to check in with Owen Quinn, who's one of the leaders.
Yeah, our leaders just made the turn. Both two good approach shots in. We had a long par 2 putt from McNary, and then an up and down from Quinn.
Bring you back into hole 18. Here's Adam Horn. He's a Cincinnati guy, went to Milford High School.
You played against him.
I did. Adam struggled today. He's 5 over, but he's had a heck of a tournament, and impressive that a kid at his age, just in his underclassmen years of high school, has played into the, you know, I would say weekend, but the final round here after making the cut. Adam's currently tied for 40th, but is 66 yesterday. 5 under round from Adam. Unbelievable showing. Adam put that one just short of the green, and he's, you know, for one of them, if you will, and you can definitely see where he gets that nickname from. Horn will putt first on the 18th. He has about double the distance of Galladay. This is a tricky putt. Just never broke. Horn was looking for that thing to snap at the midway point, and good speed from Adam, and if he can clean this one up here, he'll finish his tournament at 1 under. So not necessarily what Adam was looking for after the 66 in round 2, but nonetheless, this is one of the younger guys in the field, still a collegiate golfer in his early years.
Yeah,
why not play in the Clovernook Open?
University, absolutely. His father's a head pro out at the Grizzly. You've played out there a couple thousand times.
Played against Adam himself. What a great kid, a really good player. sure he'll be in the same position of a lot of these guys next couple years. That
Mm-hmm.
grind of professional golf. Adam obviously still an amateur. Galladay drips in the birdie putt, so a beautiful up and down from one of the longest hitters in the entire world when it comes to long drive, but he didn't hit it too far up towards the flag here, made an easy birdie on the up and down from the rough, and that'll conclude his tournament. Leaders have officially made the turn here at the Clovernook Open at Clovernook Country Club.
So Galladay goes to -9 with the birdie there. So he's moved into a top 8, 9, 10 spot with that putt.
They're currently tied for 9th, getting into a whole pack of golfers at 9 under. That leaderboard does extend, but really as we look at the leaderboard here, the guys to keep your eye on have to be Macari, drained out extremely well, and for temperatures not being too hot, the course is in pristine condition, and none of the players have had anything bad to say about it.
Those players teed off with what looked like irons from the back, trying to just get one out there in the fairway. Macari hit a great shot from about 125. He's got about 8 under left for birdie. And Quinn's got a lengthy par putt, looking to 2 putt for bogey here.
Thank you very much. You heard him say great shot by Macari. We'll probably end up saying that a few more times today because he's right there. He's tied for the lead, and he has the most holes to play of anybody that's left out there in contention.
And as you saw when we checked in with that final pairing, it is Owen Quinn playing with him, the Lehigh grad. But Owen's a pretty good story. His father, Fran Quinn, we saw finish up just about an hour and a half ago. That you saw on the Tour of Champions, and just a really established golf family. They're from Holden, Massachusetts, and easily had one of the longer trips out here, but for good reason. Father, son playing the same event. They both make the cut, and Owen with a good shot as he's sitting at 9 under par right now with, you said 9, you said 11 under par for Macari with the most holes to play. There's a little bit of a difference when you say the most holes to play as well with Owen Quinn, because he's on the outside looking, and he needs those holes, those birdie opportunities to get himself back. But it was a double bogey at number 3 today that was really costly for him, that started his round over par, and worked it back with a birdie on 4, but made bogey on 8. So he finished the front 9 at 36. He's parred 10 and 11. So he's trying to knock down some putts.
So here you have Solon. He starts a day today with a birdie. Par, birdie. Only bogey was at number 6. That's a par 3 out of 4. But he has had 3 birdies since then. So this is a big couple of swings coming up for Solon. Native, grew up, we said, just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, played collegiately at Rider University. He gets up and down here, he's tied for the lead.
And, let's not fail to forget they pay a heck of a lot of money for 2nd and 3rd place here, too. So just because we're going to compare everything to those numbers that Homan and Mom have posted to come in, and Solon can add his name into that trifecta of guys at 11 under with an up and down, there's still going to be guys who can get to a point beyond that. That's obviously possible, and that's what it's going to take to win the tournament. But to post a number like that, you're putting yourself in contention. The way the course is playing right now, have a chance at it down the stretch. It's a long bunker shot there. He's going to have a healthy putt with a lot of green to cover if he's going to get to 11 under. And I guess that is one of the downsides of missing left here, is if you hit it too hard, you can trickle into these patches of bunkers that play way down there. And yeah, you have a lot of green to work with, but we saw the cut that he just took at that one. He took everything at it and is still 30, 40 feet short.
He's the first player we've seen reach that bunker.
Here's Bob. Just landed it on the green as it trickles towards the hole. So he'll have about 12, 15 feet for his birdie. What shot would you rather have there? Less green to work with from a rough lie. Green's kind of running away from him there based on where he landed it. Or maybe a long bunker shot, but you do have green to work with.
Just going with what the members tell me. The members tell me you'd rather have the sand shot. Now, a lot of guys don't like hitting out of the sand. You know, you get to this level, and it's a whole different animal. But that shot right there by Bob. Now, his putt, again, this is what the members have told me. They said it doesn't look like it's that tough a putt. Said it might be the toughest putt on the course. He said when you're standing there and looking at it and trying to read it, it looks like the putt is going to go right. In actuality, it goes left. So he said everybody, one of the members was telling me, everybody has been missing this thing because of a very slight what you see is not what you get.
Saw Adam Horn miss a putt similar to that.
Yep.
That he thought was going to move more right, and it just never really took that dive. So Solon will go first because he is away, and this putt does mean a lot. So he'll take his time lining it up. Well, Solon's going to take all of this grass and whatnot out of his line for the putt. We're going to throw it to Trace, who's with Willie Mack right now.
Hey guys, Willie actually started this hole off kind of interestingly. He missed in the fairway to the left, hit a nice wedge in about 15 feet past the hole and spun it back underneath. Tough little look up the hill, but did not end up how he was hoping.
We're going to take this one back here as Mac will still have that look for birdie. But Solon on 18. Mac is in the blue pants on your screen, so he's going to have to take some time to line his putt. It looks like Solon's got a read, and he's ready to go. It's for a share the lead right here from Jacob Solon. Just missed it low. That putt is a tough one. It starts up the hill and then it's going to fall down and break away from you, especially as a left-handed player. That's just an awkward putt to really be confident and go after.
Well, it's got to be so frustrating. I mean, you step up at the tee. You know this is a hole you can birdie. He has birdied this week. And you know that you need to get a birdie to tie for the lead. And then you hit the ball in the bunker. And that was a tough second shot. You wound up with a par, and now you know that you cannot win.
Yeah, but considering, when Solon teed off today, he wasn't necessarily all in when it comes to winning. He's 69 in the first round, 67 in the second round.
But you can just tell just looking at him. I mean, he is really, really upset about this way this 18th hole played out.
They got a tough break with that bunker and a little too strong there. And like you said, right on cue with your prediction, that putt is supposed to move away, towards the clubhouse here. Because that's at least what it looks like. And it just never moves. Everybody's missed that putt high on at least the away part of the hole from us behind the 18th green, and he also hit it a little too hard, so if there was any other break, definitely blew through it. Caleb Bopp is currently at even par for the entire tournament, tied for 41st place out of the 44 who made the cut. We're going to go to 14 with Trace again.
Will Grimmer.
Castoris and Will Grimmer. Currently, after 16 holes, it's 7 under par. Their 17th score is not yet registered, but two guys who came in today with a real chance at it. It was Grimmer who shot 65 and was tied for the lead after round 1 on Wednesday afternoon. And then a 70 yesterday set him back, and he's played even par today. So no real move outside of the first round for him. And for Yanni, it's kind of been a little bit different. A 66 in round 1, 68 in round 2, but he's playing over par today at 1 over. So these guys, it was just a tough front 9 for them. They never really got going.
You know, Grimmer is really maybe personifies, just because he's a local kid, and maybe some of you have read about him, about how hard it truly is to get to the PGA Tour. This was a guy in 2013. Think about this now, 11 years ago. He was in high school, and he set the all-time.
The leaders in the clubhouse at 11 under right now, but there's still plenty of golf to be played. We'll be back in just a moment.
What?
And it looks like he's got about 12 to 15 feet of birdie. That should go a little left. Good speed. Oh my gosh, just short. One more rotation and that's in. But it'll be an easy par for him.
And Daniel Wetterick, as you can see on the far right bar, it says he's through 16. He's actually through 17, and he made a costly, and when I say costly, I say that a little bit ironically, but that is the caliber that these guys play at, a costly par on hole 17. Which, you know, saying par costly, but that's a birdieable hole. 16 and 17, the pair of par 5s down the stretch. Wetterick hit this one well right, but avoided all the tree trouble. He doesn't have much green to work with, but a chance to go up and down and get himself a share of the lead.
Well, he has not played seven.
Way back, covered by all the trees. So we look at hole 18. We're posted up here, all the cameras and excitement that can happen. There's still trouble to be had on the trees out right, and Wetterick from down low in the valley, if you will.
His brother David is dialed in, standing next to the green, watching his brother trying to win this thing for a second straight year.
And this one looks short, and it was short all the way. I don't know if what he had to scare the putting surface with that one, so it's going to have to be an up and down par from Daniel Wetterick to even stay at 10 under and keep himself inside the top 3.
Well, Reed Shelton is here with us, and if we can turn on his microphone, if possible, if Casey can. Reed, you're a member here. You've played here. What do you think happened with that shot over there just a second ago?
You know, I didn't see that shot. I was climbing up.
Okay,
into the
my
booth,
bad.
Tom.
I apologize. Okay, but okay. So we've seen. How about this shot now? I know we can't see his exact lie, but off the green, in the thick stuff. I would think it's a tough shot. Not a lot of green to work with.
Yeah, he is hitting into an uphill slope, though, that'll kill the ball. If the lie's decent, I don't believe it's a very difficult shot.
Definitely a must, at least up and down. If you're Wetterick, you're looking to try and even make this shot. I know we talked about it's a tough one. The flag isn't right there. He has a little bit of green to work with. Like Reed said, it's into the green, so if he can get any form of spin on it, he'll be able to stop it. However, I think Daniel will play second to Van Fossen here, who's from the fairway. So both of these guys hitting their third shots off the green, and that's what happens if you min under.
Looks like with the swing he's taken, I think he's got a pretty good lie. I expect this to be pretty close, very aggressive.
Went for that nippy, spinny shot, and it was a good run. He definitely scared the hole. So 2 par putts in this pairing here that are not going to be easy. Daniel Wetterick's is definitely a tester from about 6 or 8 feet, and Van Fossen is deeper than that. Nonetheless, good tournaments out of this pairing here. Van Fossen was trying to jar that putt and finish at 7 under. It's going to be trying to stay at 10 under for Daniel Wetterick.
And he's a defending champion, as we mentioned. He birdied his last 3 holes in the final round last year to win in wire-to-wire fashion. He led the first day, the second day, and he set a tournament record at 14 under par last year.
Daniel Wetterick has played a bogey-free round today, something he also did when shooting 64 yesterday. So Wetterick, I mean, I know we're talking about the grand scheme and the bigger picture of this entire tournament right now, but crazy enough, if he doesn't make this putt, which he'll go after Van Fossen, that would be his first bogey in 2 rounds of golf. He's looking to play back-to-back complete rounds of bogey-free golf, so this course is his home, and he's felt right at home at the Clovernook Open. 10 under par. Reed, I'm sure you've seen these putts many of times in your rounds here. What are we looking at?
I have, and as mentioned, you guys mentioned earlier, this is a tough green to read. Putts go right, they go left, they go really. Oh, great putt there, but this green confuses a lot of people, thinking the ball's going to go left and it actually goes right. There's locations on it where you think it's going to go right and it actually goes left.
How many times you got to play a hole like this? I mentioned you're a member here. These guys, or Wetterick is, but most of these guys are not. How long until you're able to say, okay, I've played this enough to tell me it's going to go right, but it's actually not going to move at all?
I'd say at least 5 to 10 years worth of golf on this green. It's a tough green. I'm sure if anyone knows what this putt's going to do, it's Daniel.
Here's the defending champion to wrap up his tournament. And he just misses low, so that's his first bogey in almost 2 full rounds of golf. So Daniel Wetterick, last year's champion, finishes at 9 under par, which will put him in a tie for 10th place. Not the result Daniel's looking for, but another great week of golf. We're going to send it over to another on-course correspondent, Reed, with Owen Quinn, one of the leaders.
Yeah, Owen's staring down a birdie putt right here. Goes up the hill and falls a little to the right. It's a pretty good look at it to give some pace. Just not enough pace though. Cleans up his par.
Back to hole 18 here, and it's been a tough day for Owen Quinn. He didn't get that birdie putt to go. He's in the final pairing, but now in a tie for 19th. Here's Edwards on the tee.
Native of Louisville, Kentucky.
Saw some leaves fall off one of the trees off to the right. That's been a big miss for a lot of guys. I don't know if it's the wind pushing it that way.
Yeah, Luke, I was standing on the tee earlier, and I think behind this clubhouse, we don't quite feel it here, but there is a lot of wind in the player's face. It's also from their left to right. A slightly mishit ball is going to get up in that wind and push towards those trees on the right. Especially
for a majority of these guys playing from the right side. That's your typical ball flight for a lot of guys. I mean, playing a fade is significantly easier to control than maybe a swooping draw. And for a right-handed player, it's just you block it, push it, and put it up in that wind, and it's going to be in that entire line of trees that Davin's looking into right now.
Well, that's a rip right there.
This one was pushed out right and well right, almost over by the scoreboard. So
Had some juice on it, though, man.
talk about power.
That
Oh
ball,
my
that's the
gosh.
longest drive on this hole today.
I mean, I'm trying to put that into equivalence to a straight ball. We may be ducking back here behind the 18th green, but he stepped on that one, if you will. He'll have no tree trouble on his wedge into the green, but not too much to work with when it comes to a putting surface that's also going to run away with him. But another look at the leaderboard, and not much is moving when it comes to the top of it. We talked about these guys in the final pairing. Macri is the final group. So on hole 14 right now, that is your leader on the course, but in a tie with Muller, with Willie Mack the third. These guys just trying to hang on, because earlier in the day, or at least earlier in the week, it was birdie, 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 go mode, 63s, 65s daily. But now that the pressure is kicking in, it is turned into who can stay the course, hold on, make pars, and give themselves a chance come Birdie's Alley down the stretch.
But take a look here. You mentioned Macri, okay? He's only through 13, right? Willie Mack the third. He's
just
through
entered
15, right?
the Birdie's Alley.
And Mueller still with 3 to play. So, we got some big-time finishes potentially coming up here down the stretch, where all 3 of those guys have a chance to win this tournament on this final hole.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're still playing golf right now, knowing how scoreable the final 3 to 4 holes are with a par 5 short par 4 finish, you're looking to win the golf tournament. You're not trying to hold on, force a playoff, par out like these guys could leaderboard watch and do. This is go mode and time to put your foot on the gas, because someone else will if you don't make that move. Obviously, Macri probably the favorite, if you will, right now, considering he has the most golf to play, and he's still playing a pretty solid round of golf right now. But everybody has a chance that we're going to see step up to 18 right now.
And we get a look for the first time today at Reed Shelton. Thanks for helping us out here today, man.
Thanks,
You've
Tom.
been a member here for a while, and so, we asked if you wouldn't mind joining us here today to try and give us a feel for some of these shots, especially here on 18, knowing what you said a second ago, okay? And let's just assume for a second, even though we've only seen one guy reach the green today, but for the last couple of days, now the weather was different, warmer, right? Most guys feel they have a legitimate chance to get on this green off the tee. So knowing what you talked about, wind, talked about not only the wind in their face, but also blowing a bit from their left to their right. As you're coming down and you're one of these guys that has a chance to win this thing, is driver the smart play?
I think it is, with the pin being in the back position, coming up short. You got a lot of green to work with to get to that back pin, so I do think driver is the play. Now, earlier in the week when the pin was up front, if you get up there close and have no green to work with, I think it's a tough shot.
Yeah.
But these guys want eagle.
Yeah, no doubt.
Some of them are going to have to play for it. Will Grimmer was an eagle away from a share of the lead. He ended up making par, and he sits at 9 under and is done for the week at the Clovernook Open. But the two guys playing 18 right now, not necessarily right there when it comes to the mix of this tournament, but they both sprayed it out a bit right and are going to have tough shots with little room.
Luke, for some perspective on that win, Nick Carlson earlier, he hit a great drive, headed right the center of the green. He was staring it down, and it came up about 15 yards short, and he just dropped to his knees. He couldn't believe that ball was short.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when you're playing on these golf courses, you take a look at the flag. It's hardly moving. So that's where everyone looks for the wind. What direction, how much is it? But then you look up. A huge tree above us. This thing's been rustling all day. So when the ball gets way up there, it can significantly affect your chance. And it's almost a little bit of an uphill tee shot over water here on 18. That's never going to come into play for these pros unless they were to drop kick one. But playing first here from a weird lie, it's Eric Edwards. He's right under the tree. He won't have any branch trouble from our angle, but he's going to have to hit this one up high, put some spin out of the thick stuff, and try and get it to stop. One hopped it onto the green. I think he was looking for the first hop to be actually on the surface, but he'll have a birdie look. It'll be Michael Davin from well right after hitting that bomb of a drive to the fairway over there. He hit 3-wood off the tee, so that's the first player I've seen not pull out the big stick, and that was pushed well over into the right side.
Yeah, so
Meneghetti and his tee shot on 18, and he does not look pleased with that either. So a hole that coming into today, everybody had hyped up and been excited about. We haven't seen too many birdies at all.
No, and that's what everybody was talking about before we got here today, is at 18, even the guys that are not considered big hitters. And we mentioned Will Grimmer earlier. He's not known as a big hitter. And I asked him, I said, can you get to the green? He said, first 2 days. He said, I pulled out driver, one day got there, one day just short. He said, but you better believe it.
As these guys walk up hole 18, we're going to take a second and check in with Reed Rule in just a moment. These on-course correspondents are helping us out a lot following the leaders as we look to have an exciting finish down the stretch.
Macari coming off a bogey at 15, going out in the fairway here at 16, grabbing the 3-wood to try to cut one around the tree line. Looked like he pulled it a little bit. He's up on 17 tee box, probably about an 80-yard shot. Tight pin tucked on the right. A lot of green to work with in the front, but we'll see what he does here. One back. Macari could start feeling the pressure here, being one back.
He's played a bogey-free round. He's only
After Macari's second, he got lucky with it landing in the fairway up on 17's tee box. Could have got himself in some trouble up there in the rough. See what he does with the wedge here.
Even if they're at 900, they still have no chance.
This guy's 11 under.
We're back to hole 18 here at the Clovernook Open, and it was a tale of two wayward drives out of this pairing. It's Meneghetti, who is in the black shorts, which is way left of the fairway, so he'll actually have tree trouble out left. And then Mueller is so far right that he's actually going to have a fairway lie and at least a 65, 70-yard shot into the flag.
And Luke, that shot's directly into the wind. He's going to have a lot of spin on this. I believe he'll be able to carry it past the flag and bring it back towards it.
The only question I would have is where his ball is in that fairway, these huge trees behind the scoreboard out to the right and behind the flag on 18 may come into play. So another look at the leaderboard. This matters a lot.
Well, again, Luke, I hate to say it, but, I mean, we just don't have the capability, at Chatterbox to have somebody out there scoring and somebody on every hole. We don't know what Mueller did on 17. We know that when he teed off at 17, that he was 11 under par. And that's the only hole that seems to be taking a while to have the score register. So, I mean, we think he's tied for the lead.
Could be in the lead.
Yeah, he could be, or he could be 2 back.
And after putting a ball all the way over there, I'm sure Mueller, this has got to be a difficult thought process. So if he's still at 11 under par, if you're Kyle Mueller's caddy, are you telling him, hey, let's try and make par here and set ourselves up for an easy kind of up and down-esque or 2-putt, maybe go for an easier part of the green and hold on to the lead? Or, I mean, maybe if you're at 12 you say that, but if he's at 11, you may be thinking, hey, let's try and hit a spinny high one over the tree and give ourselves a look at it. Kyle Mueller from the other fairway has birdied 18 in his first 2 rounds of the tournament. Steps away.
It does look like he has one limb to contend with, and he is looking over it.
That club face is wide open, as you can tell. So this is going to be a high lofted shot from a good lie. Seen a couple players come up short, and this one is well short. Into that valley area behind that bump. And it's going to be now the most interesting situation we've seen drama-wise on hole 18. One of the leaders, we still don't know what he did on hole 17, but if he made par on 17, he's tied for the lead at 11 under. 17's a birdieable hole. He could be at 12 under. But an up and down is needed either way for Kyle Mueller to stay tied for the lead or to hold his share of the lead as we come down the stretch in some of the final pairings at the Clovernook Open.
Well, the next pairing, neither one technically in the hunt. Evan Davis, kid out of Lexington, and Ashton Van Horn. Really nice young man. I spent time with today having a cup of coffee before we got started from Georgetown, Kentucky. But those last 2 groups where you have Mac, Brialt, Owen Quinn, Macari, big-time drama there.
So, Reed, I want to ask you, obviously not too many members at any country club are playing the back tees or burying the ball 320 yards into a quote-unquote drivable par 4. But if you're Kyle Mueller and his caddy, what do you think the thought process was going with 3-wood on that tee ball that honestly was hit very hard and could have had a chance to scare the green? So it shows you his power, but a weird decision there and, normally a controlled shot with a bad result.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's a fairly long hitter, and he might have been concerned of driver going over. There is out of bounds back here that creeps up fairly quickly by the clubhouse if you go over the green.
Got to be something involved there, but to hit it that far after right off the club face, it was sprayed that way, and it's left him an up and down situation. But we'll stay here and check in with Meneghetti, who's at 8 under par.
Meneghetti, another guy who's had a tough day today. I mean, he was in the third to last group going out.
Oh, scared the hole there, but blew it by. So he's going to have that comebacker up the hill for his par look. Meneghetti put the ball into the left trees and just had to pitch out to the point where he just hit that pitch shot from. So 18, giving players all kinds of fits. We're waiting for that group to break through and throw in a 2, but we've yet to see a birdie in a long time, and that's got to be the pressure kicking in, and especially for a guy like Kyle Mueller to spray a ball like that out of a club that he thought he could control and have an easy wedge in. I mean, this is $20,000 for first place at stake right now, and
Mueller is from Athens, Georgia. But, I mean, he's had a weird round. He goes birdie right out of the gate, first hole. He has been par every hole since until 16 when he birdied. So he's 2 under today. But undoubtedly, having not watched him play every hole, there have to be a number of missed opportunities today. He might be waiting for some kind of a ruling here. I think they've gone to look for an official.
It looks like they're bringing one over right now. But while we have a second, this kid from Athens, Georgia, played golf at the University of Michigan. And when we talk about pressure in a situation like this with a high purse event, this guy has seen all kinds of pressure. Competed in 3 consecutive U.S. AM championships at Olympia Fields, Oakland Hills, Riviera Country Club. 1 month after playing in the 2023 Clovernook Open, Kyle took his talents to Los Angeles Country Club, which was the host site for the 2023 U.S. Open, and he missed the cut by just 1 shot, along with Jordan Spieth and Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, how about that? Don't blow through those 2 names. This dude was playing with those guys, Spieth and Mickelson.
I mean, since turning pro, Kyle's had a pretty established start to his career. He's made 26 starts on the PGA Tour Canada. He had a runner-up on the Canadian PGA Tour and 3 top 10 finishes. He finished 4th in the Clovernook Open last year. Needs an up and down here.
Oh, boy.
And he duffed it. So that lie had to have been an issue there. If they're going to bring over a rules official, there's a very good chance that that ball was buried or plugged into some sort of mud or dirt, because that ball didn't even move. So this is for par now from Kyle Mueller.
Go in.
Just missed it. That would have been an unbelievable par save, but now you're looking at, geez, what did he do on 17? Because if he was able to birdie the birdieable par 5 17th, even with this bogey tap-in, he would still keep a share of the lead at 11 under. However, if it was a par on 17, he has now dropped out of the lead on one of the easiest holes in the entire course. The 16th handicap is hole 18, and this is for par. We're about to see a tap-in bogey. Playing difficult in the final round Sunday, to say the least. Here's Meneghetti for his par attempt. Misses on the low side with too much break going left to right. So we're going to see a pair of bogeys. The frustration on full display with Meneghetti and Mueller.
Boy, and we still don't know what he did at 17. I sure wish we did know, because that makes it tough to sit there and, you know, ask what was on his mind or what he might have been thinking when he stepped up there, as you mentioned, Luke, with a 3-wood off the tee. Because if he was tied for the lead, man, I got to get something out over here to the left and give my chance for an up and down to get to 12 and take the lead in this thing.
So weirdly enough, these 2 guys on the tee, their scores on hole 17 have already registered. Here's Ashton Van Horn.
Nice kid, like I said. Talked to him for a long time this morning from Georgetown, Kentucky. Really, really pleasant young man.
Ashton Van Horn attended Belmont University,
Yep.
and add this to the tally of balls sprayed out right, and this is the deepest drive of the day. This one goes over the green pretty much, off to the right. It's in front of the Chatterbox scoreboard, and it's right behind, with a little room, of that big bump we saw Mueller just have to play his shot from. So talk about a flop shot. That's what it's going to take to get it up onto the green level and then try and get it to stop. And then his playing partner, Evan Davis, is also his, fellow alumni of Belmont University.
Yeah,
both of these guys Belmont grads.
They're renting a house together this week with another Belmont grad in the field, and even though they did not play at the same time, Evan is much younger, who's hitting now. He just was the 2-time Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year, so he's not even 2 full years out being a professional. Boy, he started that way left.
Let's see if he's trying to cut it back towards the hole. That would be the way to do it with the wind, and this one has reached the green. It's just on the fringe, on the all the way left half of the putting surface. So he's going to have a long try there. He could still hit a wedge from that point, considering he's not actually on the green, but nonetheless, an eagle look here for a guy that's at 8 under.
What a tee shot, Luke. Hitting a fade into that headwind, he really had to hit that hard.
Unbelievable stuff with the power it took. You talked about Evan Davis being a lot younger than his playing partner,
Yep.
Ashton Van Horn. When you look at Van Horn, this guy's played around. We talked about the Korn Ferry Tour a lot, kind of the step below the PGA Tour. He's made 21 of 61 cuts on the Korn Ferry Tour, but we want to shoot this one out to hole 17 with Trace. He's picking up with some guys that are very much in the hunt of this tournament.
Yeah, Bo's got to look here for about 40 feet for eagle. A little bumpy coming out of the front fringe. Needs to hustle up just a little. And that'll be a kick and birdie for him. And then we've got Willie here on the right. He's got about 6 to 8 feet. Right to left for birdie. Missed his second left. It would appear it's going to turn just a little right to left. Really making sure he nails down the line on this. I could be mistaken, but this putt should be for the lead. Oh, just short. On the left side. That'll be a kick in par. Bo's going to be.
The pressure kicking in down the stretch. You saw Brielt with a beautiful lag from off the green. He'll tap in his birdie to move to 9 under par, but the biggest story there was that near miss just off the edge of the cup. And Willie Mack III, that was for solo lead in this golf tournament. And Dad, you just mentioned to me, final pairing and the leader coming into today's round, Graham Mackery, has just made another bogey. So he's now dropped to 10 under as he's playing 17 right now. So everybody, I'm looking at Mackery hit a 3-wood off to my left right now from a beautiful fairway lie. He's going to have to make a birdie there to come into 18 with a share of the lead. And there's about 5 guys that are going to be rolling in here right now. And it's going to be an unbelievable finish when it comes to fireworks, because we've seen a lot of bogeys being made on these quote-unquote easier holes than what was expected.
Well, I mean, you look at 15 is where he had the bogey a minute ago, right, on number 15, par 4. The first 2 days he went par and birdie on 15. Today in the final round, tied for the lead on 15, bogey 5.
He's now 2 over. In the final round Friday is Graham Mackery. And here is Van Horn from this awkward position below the hole. Not too much green to work with. Has a bump to fly it over. Van Horn has made over $140,000 in career earnings on the Korn Ferry Tour. He's actually
pretty doggone good.
Inside the top 1,000 players when it comes to the official World Golf Rankings, and that was about 2 to 3 feet away from being beautiful. He tried to use the bump to slow it down before it got to the green, but now the 3rd straight player to hit a shot out right and leave it short, trying to attack that flag in that short area of green.
Boy, Reed, that has been the death area over there for a number of players just here over the last 20, 30 minutes.
That's correct, and it's hard not to go there with the wind pushing that way.
Van Horn will play again from off the green. So in just a moment, we're going to have Van Horn hit his 3rd from off the green before Davis's eagle attempt on the left part of the green. Van Horn just went under this one, and the wheels are falling off for some of these guys on 18. It's just these quick greens with the sun being out today. It's firmed up the course a lot that was playing wet, and he just scooped under that one. That is not a shot that's typical for Ashton Van Horn and a player of his caliber. This is now for par. So he'll tap in for bogey. Ashton Van Horn will finish up his tournament. This is a guy who played in 23 Korn Ferry Tour events just last year, so a distinguished pro on a legit tour in Clovernook Country Club, giving him some fits down the stretch.
Yeah, he had a tough final day. There's no two ways about that one.
This is Davis from who knows how long. He's got the putter in hand, so not going with the wedge. It's going to start as a downhill putt. Should even out to a pretty flat and straight putt. I would assume, Reed, from the looks of the topography of this green, not much movement. Maybe towards the end it's going to fall down to the left.
Yeah, I think it's going to go slightly left to right, and then halfway through it's going to switch and come back right to left.
That's what this 18th green is, all kinds of tricks and bumps across the way. But if we were able to see an eagle putt get thrown in, that would spring Davis into double-digit under par at 10 under. Weirdly enough, both Van Horn and Davis, two guys in the third-to-last pairing, and they don't really have a chance at it. But right after this putt, we're going to go to Reed, who's on 17 with the leaders.
That's a great putt, man.
Really good lag there. Has left him about 4 feet for birdie. So Davis didn't get it all the way there. And we're going to send it out to Reed right now. Reed, give us an update on the leaders. What is happening over there?
McAree's on the first time. It's going to be quick coming down the hill. It's a great touch by him. Have a really good look, about 4 or 5 feet for birdie. Up the hill, breaking a little right. Really, really good look to tie the lead going into 18, get some momentum. Come on.
Welcome you back to hole 18 at the Clovernook Open. Waiting for the green to clear. It was a birdie after a beautiful lag on his eagle attempt from Davis. So the pair of Belmont grads are done with solid finishes. It wasn't great coming in.
Oh, Davis, that was a nice birdie. I mean, he drove just off the green, nice lag, dropped it in for a birdie, so good for him. Good finish there. Van Horn, just a disaster there at the final hole. But here we go. We got 4 players left. And where we sit now, you have 5 players tied for the lead.
All right, let's put it this way. On your screen right now, Briald is at 8 under. He birdied the 17th. He's at 9 under. So it's going to take an eagle to share the lead at 11. This one's blocked off to the right. That's what it cleared all the trees. You're going to get a look at it here in a second. He's going to have a good chance at putting one close for birdie.
Yeah.
So the wind has definitely toned down or something in the last hour because guys are hitting the ball further than they have all day on hole 18. But this is the guy that everybody should be watching when it comes to an interest of who could win this tournament and who could win it without a playoff hole. Willie Mack III has a chance to make birdie here on the final hole of the tournament. On the 56th hole of play.
It takes sole possession of the lead.
Solo lead.
Yep.
And it could completely block out all these guys who are in the clubhouse at 11 under, and he does not like this.
He's left. I never saw where he landed.
Looks well left. We'll see if he does find tree trouble. It opens up a whole lot more to the left than the right, but Willie Mack dropped his club into his left hand, dropped his shoulders, was not pleased with that swing. However, he's got to make par to at least put himself in a position to be tied with numerous guys. I mean, Mueller's in at 11 under. Jacob Sullen is in at 11 under. Blake Mom, Wes Horman, who finished, it feels like, decades ago. And, Homan was the first to finish maybe 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
but
and if you're wondering, there is a playoff today. I'm assuming they'd play 18 again.
That's what it is. It is. If it does go to a playoff, they will play 18. And the only people that could prevent it from being a playoff is Mackery has a good birdie look from about 4 to 5 feet on 17 that Reed just tapped us into. So if he can make that birdie, he'll come to 18 in the same position that Willie Mack just played it at. Willie Mack has a chance to birdie this. And speaking of Reed at number 17, let's check in with Reed right now. Reed, take it away.
Yeah, Mackery coming off 17. He did make the 4-footer for birdie too. He made the birdie from 4 feet, and he's got a great look here at 18 with tie for the lead right now.
So everybody is at hole 18. It's Mackery in that final pairing with Quinn will wait.
Tell you what, that's stepping up if you're Mackery. Been tied for the lead since the day started. He's playing in the final group. He hadn't had a great day.
No.
But he has hung in there. And, he gets to 17, and he had lost that stroke to fall one behind the lead, and he comes up with a birdie. And so, we've seen now 3 or 4 guys that have stepped up to this 18th tee box with a chance to either tie for the lead or take sole possession of the lead. None of those players has been able to accomplish that. We've seen a couple stay a stroke back, and we've seen a couple lose a stroke or two. We've seen a couple play at par where they couldn't pick up the one stroke they were looking for. Solon was the guy. I mean, he's a left-handed player, pushed it out a little bit, but it ended up in that bunker over there. He hit the bunker shot that only went maybe 10, 12 feet, had a long birdie putt, couldn't do it. Finished with par, tied for the lead.
And how about that final group on the 18th tee? They're going to have a 5, maybe a 10-minute wait till they get to hit their tee shots here. That's got to be a nerve-wracking wait. Yeah,
the final pairing is Graham Mackery, who we've mentioned multiple times, but who we haven't mentioned has been Owen Quinn, and it's been his poor play today after 64 yesterday to put himself in that final pairing. He was 3 over par going into 17 at 7 under, so no real chance whatsoever. That's why we haven't brought up Quinn much. And there's your look at Willie Mack III. We've been checking in with him all day, and he's looking back at that ginormous tree behind him, which is actually in front of his ball. And we're hearing from our on-course correspondent that he does have a window. The picture of the lie looks very good. It is in the rough and not in the fairway on the hole adjacent to number 18, or if you will, a parallel to 18, which Reed is on right now with Willie Mack III. And if you're Willie, you just trying to knock one down there and try and get up and down for par? Are you really going after this flag?
You got to be extra careful that you get over that front ridge and don't leave this short into the bunker and leave yourself another difficult shot and a very possible bogey.
Absolutely. If anything, he's probably trying to fly this one onto the surface, and if it rolls out a little long, then so be it. It's a low bullet. It stops in the rough, and it's a beauty from Willie Mack III. The degree of difficulty from behind the tree to land it in the thick stuff and let it stop. I know it's a deep one, but Mack's going to have a putt to potentially win this entire tournament.
What a big-time shot that is, man.
You could hit that shot 30 times and not hit it that good.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good as it gets.
Here's Brilt, and he has a chance if he can jar this to tie the lead as well. It would be an eagle, and it would be a miracle, but he's going up. Oh, my goodness. Brilt gives it a run, and he'll have probably about 15 feet up the hill for birdie, but a good effort nonetheless, and it's going to be drama when Willie Gay will putt first here on 18. Excuse me, Willie Mack III will putt first here on hole 18. Confused him with NFL player Willie Gay for a second there, but big thanks to Reed for joining us up here, especially our on-course correspondence with Trace Thomas. And you guys have done an unbelievable job keeping up with this tournament. Has been so hectic. Everybody is at 11 under.
And we thank everybody on our Chatterbox crew: Trace Fowler, Sean Spurlock, Casey McAllister, Elliott Rearing was up here earlier today. Man, it takes a lot of work setting up. Our camera guys, Noah and Jeremiah, have just been fantastic, and we cannot thank them enough. It's a lot of work, man. First time at Chatterbox we've ever done something like this, and we hope we get a chance to do it again because this has been really cool. It's a great event.
Tom, if you don't mind, I'd like to give a special shout-out to Chris Hatke.
Yep.
Member here at Clovernook. He is very much in behind the scenes of organizing this tournament, organizing the sponsors, the concerts, and just everything that goes on with it.
Absolutely. He has been fantastic. He's made sure that we all knew what was going on out here, about all the players and anything we needed to take care of, along with David Wederick. It's been a great crew.
All right, let's not get away from the biggest putt of the entire tournament. It's going to be from Willie Mack III at 11 under par. This is for a solo outright lead on hole 18. This one's moving. Whoa.
He was not going to be short going for the win. That was
Mack
not going to happen.
misses on the low side, but he's left himself a little bit of a knee knocker, if you will, for par. Remember, Mackery is on the 18th tee right now, also sitting at 11 under par. So that tells you all you need to know. Mackery knows a birdie and you win. $20,000 for Willie Mack III. It's a par and I stay alive. We could see, what, a 6 or 7 way playoff here potentially?
Minimum 5.
This is unbelievable. To remind you guys, as Brielt's going to go for his birdie attempt to wrap up his week at the Clovernook Open to try and get to 10 under par. It is a tie at 11 under par from Wes Homan, Blake Mom, Jacob Solon, Kyle Mueller, Willie Mack III, and Graham Mackery. Still just Mackery and Willie Mack are the only two guys at 11 under par that are still on the golf course. An unbelievable week from Bo Brault. Not necessarily what he was looking for after a 66-66 start on Wednesday and Thursday, but he's going to wrap up his tournament at 10 under par for the week.
That's solid.
That's a share of 7th place.
Yep, solid.
I saw Mac pay close attention to his ball when it rolled past the hole, so he should know exactly what this putt does.
Mack delivers the goods. After a rough lie and some tree trouble after a wayward tee shot, he makes par and escapes hole 18, staying at 11 under par. And now to the task at hand. It's going to be Owen Quinn first, who's currently well back of the lead. Quinn is at 8 under par on hole 18 right now, but it'll be the guy who plays second, Macari, that all eyes will be on. A chance to win the Clovernook Open.
Luke, looking at the top of the trees, the wind has definitely died down. These guys will be able to reach this green.
This one looks pretty good. It's cutting down the middle. It started on the left side. I think he overcut it and it missed outright based on what the spectators are pointing at. I didn't have a great look at it, but nonetheless, there are 6 players tied for the lead, and here's one of them, and the only guy still left playing. The 318th par 4 hole 18 at Clovernook Country Club. A good drive could stick $20,000 in Macari's pocket.
This looks good.
He's got a good look at it.
Okay.
And he's missed left. He's just short of the green. Not going to be able to see it from our camera angles here, but that could be in the bunker. That's exactly where Solin's shot was.
That's right. If it's not in the bunker, well, you got a shot here. If it is in the bunker,
you still got a shot. You got a lot of green to work with.
Solin's the only guy we've seen that's had to hit out of that bunker the entire time since we've been here. And look, he just mishit the ball. I'm sure if you gave him 20 chances, 18 or 19 of those, he's going to hit it within 10 feet of the cup. He just had a tough swing, got a little too far underneath it, and popped it up.
That is low to the ground down there. All of these bunkers around hole 18 and areas in the rough present difficult shots, but a really good leave for Macari. Short left, has just about maybe 20 yards to the flag. He hit a good one, and you know, this is everything for guys battling and playing in these mini tours. The difference between first and second, $10,000 bucks. The purse, $100,000 here at Clovernook Country Club. But what an event they've put on. All the charity sponsors involved, all of the members and spectators, family members gathering around hole 18 right now for what could be the end of it all right here, or we could be propelled into, what would it be, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-way playoff potentially on hole 18.
And you know, Luke, you mentioned the charities. There are 3 charities that are the benefactors of this event. First Tee of Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky, right? They figure to get somewhere in the neighborhood of $10,000, $11,000. You have a club emeritus for a longtime pro that was here, that they also raise money for his foundation, which they figure anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000. And then you have the Jack Nicklaus and Barbara Nicklaus Play Yellow, which is basically the Children's Miracle Network, where pledges are made by people. You can pledge a penny per birdie, $1 per birdie, $5 per birdie. We have had well over 920 birdies this week. So the total charity amount is going to be somewhere close, anywhere between $28,000 and $32,000. That's great stuff.
That's the power of golf right
Indeed.
there. So many unbelievable people in this sport, foundations, and just the culture around it. And it's hard to beat this setup. Late afternoon into the night. It's 6:08 at Clovernook Country Club in Cincinnati, Ohio. Probably a couple hundred people around the green looking for an exciting finish or what could be another hole to play.
I mean, a few thousand here tonight, big boy.
A 6-way playoff would be something I've never seen before.
You're right.
I don't know how that would look. I don't know how that would space it out, but Graham,
you let all 6 guys tee off at the same time. You have
in
to.
high school golf, that's what they did. They would all tee off at the same time and walk up together. But you already know a 6-way playoff is not ending in one hole either.
No.
There's going to be multiple guys who make birdies, multiple guys who make pars, and some guys who probably make bogeys.
Luke, it looks like he is not in the bunker.
From where he is right now, it doesn't look like Macari's in the bunker, but I will say he might be stepping into the bunker and maybe taking practice swings, but the route that he just took to the green, I don't think he's in the sand trap.
And if he is indeed short of that bunker, that is prime position with this pin placement.
I mean, this is what it comes down to. We talked about this all day. An up and down, a big pressure moment that goes your way, doesn't go your way. And that's really the difference between these guys and, say, the Korn Ferry Tour, the PGA Tour at Quail Hollow right now. And it's been an unbelievable week from Graham Macri, a 66 in round one, a 65 yesterday. He hasn't played great golf today, but just enough to put himself in a position to win it on hole 18.
Native of Fishers, Indiana.
Turned pro in 2018, went to the University of Indianapolis. He's played in 4 PGA Tour events. This one released off the front of the green, and it's getting better, but it is definitely a putt to win it is what we're going to have. I'd probably say that's a 12-footer from Macri, maybe a little deeper than that.
Yeah,
but
it looks every bit a little bit longer than a free throw in basketball. That
That's
looks
what
like
these
about a 17-footer there.
These guys have had that putt all day. It's probably around a 50% make rate. Here's Quinn from the trap.
Boy, that's a great shot. I mean, from that trap, that is a great shot.
So it will be Macri who plays first. He's out and has a chance to win it.
How many times do you think he sat on the practice green hitting putts thinking this is the win a tournament?
Yep.
Now he's got a chance. I believe this would be the biggest accomplishment in his career.
We would be witnessing a breakthrough moment for a guy who turned pro in 2018. His mom made the drive up from Indiana for the final round today. We saw her on the first tee hours ago.
You know, you just can't put into perspective what this amount of money would mean to these guys. Look, all of us would be thrilled to win $20,000. Don't get me wrong, but these are guys that are spending so much of their own money out on the road, staying at hotels, staying in a bed and breakfast, staying in an Airbnb, an entry fee to get in the tournament. This tournament costs $900. Talked to a dad earlier, his son sharing an Airbnb, one of the players here, spending another $500. So you're 1,400 in the hole, and you haven't even taken a swing yet.
20,000 bones and about 20 feet away, if you will. It's Graham Macri. Just a reminder as these guys line up their putts, it's Wes Homan, Blake Mom, Jacob Solon, Kyle Mueller, Willie Mack III, and of course the man on your screen right now, who are all tied for the lead at 11 under par. The way they've got there has been so wildly different. Macri's even on the day. Wes Homan shot 7 under today. We saw a 6 over from Blake Mom. Macri to win the Clovernook Open. Just short. We will see a playoff of 6 players after Owen Quinn finishes up.
And Luke, that putt he had, it's just hard to read and tell which way it goes, and it's hard to hit a decisive putt when you don't know where it's going to go, or even if you think it's straight. A straight putt is one of the hardest putts in golf.
This pin position has given guys trouble all day, and to leave a putt like that short, you can see the frustration and nerves from Macri. Quinn hasn't been his day, but a heck of a week for the Lehigh grad. Still one of the younger guys out here, and he has all kinds of potential. Quinn just misses, so he'll tap in for par and finish his tournament. Remember, his father, Fran, is also playing in this event, but it was the low round, or at least the second lowest round of the day yesterday. A 64 put him in position to play in the final pairing, and he did not have his best stuff. But another building block for a kid who has so much potential playing on these smaller tour events, but to even play in the biggest stages as he gets older. But that's it for hole 18, and I guess quote-unquote regulation of the Clovernook Open. We're going to get extra holes, and we're not going to go anywhere. We'll step aside for a short moment, and show you guys the leaderboard, but it's going to be a 6-way playoff hole when we return. Don't go anywhere.
First playoff in Clovernook Open history. It's going to be a 6-way playoff, going right back to number 18. So stay where you're at. We're going to get
Welcome back. It's the Clovernook Open, and it's the first ever playoff in the Clovernook's Open history. It's Graham Mackery that will kick us off, and it's not just any other playoff, guys. It's a six-way playoff. This is unbelievable. The last guy who played hole 18 will lead us off. And a little club twirl. It looks like Mackery likes this one. Puts it in the left pitching area.
Yeah.
A little bit further back from where he was earlier when he made par just moments ago.
I believe he'll be able to control that one a little better. I think it either stopped in the fairway or in the first cut where he will have a better lie than he did before.
That's a great shot. Now this is Jacob Solon, who maybe played golf an hour and a half to 2 hours ago. A couple of these guys have been in the clubhouse for a long period of time. Solon pulled this one a bit, and this is outright. He did carry and get through the trees, though, so he's in a similar position with not too much green to work with than we've seen a few guys, and we're yet to see a birdie from that area in a long while. Right here is Blake Mom.
Okay.
Mom played excellent down the stretch in his 65 to get here.
He teed off at 12 o'clock today.
Mom to get into this playoff, and I know he teed off early and didn't know it was at stake. It was a birdie on 16, a birdie on 17, and a birdie on 18. This drive is also out to the right. So it did get through the trees as well. He's a little bit further back than Solon is. So two guys out to the right. Man, Mackery with the good ball down the middle. So Mackery, advantage goes to him. However, what's going to be difficult with this playoff with 6 players is they're doing 2 threesomes. However, Mackery can make birdie, or say all these guys can duff their pitch shots, and Mackery feels like he's in control. There's still a full group behind him that's yet to tee off. So would you argue there's an advantage for going second here, kind of knowing what you have to make on this hole?
Absolutely. Absolutely going second, knowing whether you need birdie or if one of these guys happens to drop eagle. You know what you got to do.
I mean, an eagle's going to win it here.
You know,
we haven't seen too many birdies all day.
You think that, and I would tend to agree with you most of the time, but at least based on what we've watched today, and we've watched about 4 or 5 guys step up here in the last hour and 2 or 3 in the last 20 minutes that had a chance to either tie for the lead coming into this hole or outright take the lead on this hole. Not one of those guys has delivered, and they knew when they stepped in that box exactly what the deal was.
Yeah, and this is just amplified
that's
pressure
right.
now in the playoff.
Now you're talking about $20,000, man.
I will say one of these guys is bound to make a birdie. It's going to be, I think, if anything, the guy, whoever makes the birdie will win, or that will be the next group that extends this playoff.
Place?
Ooh, well, so that's when you can cut that doesn't matter because you can take, so if there's a tie for second 3 ways, you take the money for second, third, and fourth, you total it all together, and they all split it. That's how the ties work money-wise. Or at least on standard tours, that's how it works. There's no playoff for second place. But just another reminder, $100,000 purse in this event, $20,000 to first place, $10,000 to second, and $7,500 to third. So much at stake for a lot of, young golfers traveling week to week, the grind of mini tour golf just on the verge of breaking through, and this would be an enormous breakthrough in Cincinnati, Ohio for any of the 6 guys on the tee box. And there's Graham McAree, who was in the final pairing and the solo leader coming into today's final round, and he stayed the course but never really excelled. He had a chance to run away with it.
The 2 players that made the biggest breakthroughs late were Solon and McAree. They both had birdies at 17 to put themselves into a tie for the lead. Now, they both had a chance to win it on 18, or pardon me, to take the lead by themselves. McAree to win it outright because he had the last putt in regulation. But those 2 guys, of everybody that finished here today, they delivered the biggest holes late.
Willie Mack pretty much had a chance to win it.
Yeah, you're right.
Well.
He ended up with a par, but it was a miraculous second shot.
And how about Blake Mom's last 2 days? He started on day 1 with a 1 over 72. He could not have been happy with that. That was arguably one of the easiest days. And then he shoots back-to-back 6 under 65s. Just excellent golf.
Man,
unbelievable.
All right, so let me ask you this, Reed Shelton. Of the 3 shots, and I know you can't see the lie. We can't tell exactly what the lie looks like. It's safe to say McAree's is really good. Because he'd be able to
Position
pick it up.
A for Mac.
Solon appears to have an uphill lie, so he's going to be able to elevate that ball, and it's going to hit the green. It's going to stop where it hits. So he's probably number 2 in the list of positions.
I will say that uphill lie looks extremely steep for the left-hander Solon as he gets ready. I think it'll be Mom, who's going to play first. McAree just got the cue from Mom, and he is going to go. Mom is going to go. I have no idea who's going to go. These guys are each stepping up to hit their shot, and for all I know, they could be hitting at the same time. It will be McAree to play first. McAree going for a little chunk and run here, and this looks really good, guys.
Man.
Very nice. That's almost the exact putt he had to win this tournament about 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
A little bit inside of it, but that is a good look for birdie. For him, it was great golf down the stretch early and not too many high-pressure situations considering of his early tee time. He didn't know he would be in a position like this. Stuck around, hit balls, continued to watch the leaders make par after par. And he's in a position here to potentially win it. Well below the hole, he's going to have to throw this one way up there.
Ooh, gets a fortunate bounce to get on the green. That landed a little short of where he was aiming.
Seen a lot of guys come up short from that position, and it's understandable knowing you don't have too much green to work with and you want it to stop. However, the guys who have really left it short has put themselves in worse positions than deeper than the hole. Here's the left-hander Solon.
Luke, this is an exciting shot. This is going to be way up in the air, almost
Whoa.
40 feet in the air.
That goes way by the hole. It needs to stop. So, who is next? Blake Mom went to Gardner Webb. He's 29 years old from Greenwich, Connecticut. He's played in 21 professional events on the Corn Ferry Tour and PGA Tour Canada. He's made 9 of 21 cuts. Official money in all of those cuts made, $18,000. He's playing one hole playoff for potentially $20,000. Reed, this putt looks to be going uphill to start, and then it's that tricky putt. What do you have here?
I believe it's slightly left to right and maybe straightening out at the end, possibly even a double breaker.
He's in a little bit of a valley here on his putt. Mom for birdie.
Nope.
Missed it.
I would think Homan's away here, right?
Both Homan and Mueller have caddies.
I believe so, and Homan's got the ball in hand. He's got an absolute perfect lie. This is not a difficult shot.
All right, so but setting up your next putt, where do you want to try to lead this? Clearly you're going for the pin, but would you rather be left or right of it?
I don't think there's a particular position that
Okay.
you're looking to leave it. I think he just wants this in that 3-foot circle that they're aiming for.
Yeah, you know, none of these guys have been long once, and for good reason. I know that's a back flag, but everybody's been respecting the release of this green so much all day, and it hasn't spit out too much. We'll see if Wes Homan tries to hit a spinner from a pretty straightforward lie here and run this close to the flag.
It looks like he's setting up for the check and release shot.
He's going
He's
at
gonna
it.
need some spin.
That's a really good shot. That's a much easier putt there for Wes Homan. He'll have an uphill putt back at the hole, but still, you know, at least 8 to 10 feet of work left. And
I bet he'd like to have that shot back, Luke.
absolutely. However, in these high-pressure situations, you already know the 3 players who made par in the trio before are now holding their breath just as much as Wes Homan will be holding his on this next putt.
All right, here we go out of the bunker.
This is Mueller. Oh my, he hit this one very hard and actually flew it into the rough behind the flag.
Although that's past the green in the rough, it seems to be sitting good. That is a very makeable chip for a player of his caliber.
It's crazy what pressure will do to these guys. I'm sure you
man.
could send them over to 16 right now where there's no gallery and no massive $20,000 check waiting greenside for the winner, and they would get up and down from just about anywhere and make it look easy. But right now, that is not the case. Here's Willie Mack III.
I got
from
a
a
feeling this
difficult
guy's
lie.
about to make a shot.
Club face is wide open.
Mack goes up. This could be really good, guys. Wow. Unbelievable flop shot from Willie Mack III, and he's going to have a tap-in birdie.
That might be shot of the tournament.
Well, his last 2 shots off the green coming onto the green have been 2 of the biggest shots he's hit all day long. I mean, that's why I said before he took the shot, I just got a feeling there's a big-time shot coming, and that's a big-time shot. So he's in for birdie. One of these other 2
Not
guys.
not in yet.
Well,
but
he's in.
He's marked.
All right.
from
Well,
2
one of
feet.
these other 2 guys has to make this, or this is over.
Yeah, you just see the disbelief. It's a tough looking to the right side of the green at Macquarie, and that's a guy who was in complete control of this tournament at the start of the day, and he's got his hat off. He just slammed his hand against his hat. It's just so minuscule, the difference between, you know, first and a tied for second. It was just a couple missed putts from 8 to 10 feet for Graham, but staying on 18, it's Kyle Mueller, and he has to chip this in from the rough.
I believe he's looking for a chip that
I was
just
getting ready to say,
carries past the fringe.
He is still going to chip it. Some guys, they wrestle with this to chip it or putt it.
He's going to chip it. Oh my gosh, it jumped over the hole. Just a little too hard. The green was running away from him, and he's officially been, I guess not officially been eliminated from this playoff, but avoiding a missed putt from Mac the third. And here will be a chance to extend this playoff from Wes Homan, who shot 64 today.
Uphill putt, slight left to right break. He knows he has to make it.
He's not going to leave it short, to say the least.
No.
I believe he wants to start this ball just outside of the cup.
To which side? Right side?
Left side with
Left
the putt
side.
breaking
Okay.
from his left to right.
This is the winner of the inaugural Clovernook Open in 2019, played collegiately for Xavier and Southern Methodist University. He won on the PGA Tour Canada in 2014. A very experienced pro, to say the least. The Cincinnati kid, Wes Homan, to try and extend this playoff. Homan for birdie.
What a
Trips
How
it
about
in.
that?
Wes Homan, the guts on full display at Clovernook Country Club. And a big high five with his caddy has extended the playoff.
How about that? First putt we've seen.
I think that just shows the pressure experience he has playing on those major tours.
You called it. You said you thought he would be a guy to have an advantage here.
I mean, that is an unbelievable putt, knowing especially that Mac hadn't gone yet. I know he's quote-unquote in for birdie. Here's his tap in right now for Willie Mac III. It's Homan and Mac. We'll do it again. Everybody up against the ropes. Put them in a golf cart and do it again.
All their tails back there quick.
Can't ask for a better tournament when it comes to a drama perspective than this.
Guys, I'm interested in the strategy off the tee here. Will Wes Homan try to lay it short of the green like he just did? And will Mac go for the green and possibly put himself in another tough position like he was
That's right.
there in that first playoff?
That's right. But he clearly has the confidence to make – I mean, look, you would have taken Homan's shot all day, every day ahead of Mac's. But Mac clearly feels like he can make that shot.
Yep. That shot takes a lot of confidence, soft hands, loose grip on the club, big swing. That is a shot that is so easy to hit 3 feet or hit 30 feet past the hole.
So we're down to 2, young man. We started at 6. Well, we started this week with 120. We got down to 40 by tee time today. First group went off at, well, actually there was a group that had to finish from yesterday because of that late rain. So there were some guys out here at 6:30 this morning.
Yep, there was some late rain yesterday right as they were about to finish up, along with a few lightning strikes that just they weren't able to get back out and finish. There was this 18 green had water all over it, standing water. It would have took squeegees and a dark finish. I think it was the right move to let those guys come out in the morning and give them a fair chance to finish the round.
So both Mac III and Homan will make their way back to the tee box, just 318 yards away from the flag. Wes Homan, the experience, obviously the unbelievable short game on the flop shot from Mac III, but Homan with the pressure putt. He talked about his experience. It had to come into play. Completed in more than 60 PGA Tour, Korn Ferry Tour, PGA Tour Canada events throughout his career. Some notable starts for Homan: the Rocket Mortgage Classic, the Barbasol, the St. Jude's Classic, the Memorial up in Columbus, which is now an elevated event, the Honda Classic, and the Shriners Hospital Open. Wes Homan will go first on number 18.
And Mac has some of that experience, too, having made 2 cuts on the PGA Tour.
Homan at the tee box now. Homan put one just short moments ago. We'll see if that was because of his driving distance and he decided to play accuracy more, or if that was just the best ball he could hit, knowing.
I know Wes Homan, and he has the power to reach this green if he rears back and goes for one.
Backs off of it for a second there. This one looks to be in a similar direction, right down the middle, quick tee pickup. Let's see how far it can get. It's a little more out left. I'm not sure if the bunker extends all the way over there, but it didn't look like it based on the way the ball bounced. That could be another straightforward pitch shot, but this time from the rough.
And I think we would have heard something from the crowd if that thing would have dropped in the sand. I think you're right, Luke. That's on the grass.
I do believe it's on the grass. He might be close enough to that bunker, though, where he has an awkward lie and has to stand in it.
I will say, if he does have a good setup and a proper lie, that is probably an easier shot than his last. His last was more straight on with the flag, which left him kind of a weird downhill pitch, but uphill for the first part of the green. He has a significantly better angle at this back right flag from there. Here's Willie Mack the third, and he showed on the last drive, he definitely has the power to reach this hole.
And he went after it.
He sure did.
He goes for the quick tee pickup. Let's see where this one ends up.
Over on the left, that might be in the bunker. It's right over in that neighborhood. We can't see it because there's a little lift that then drops down into the bunker. Weren't able to tell if that shot is in the bunker or on the grass.
Got to give Wes Homan credit, man. A guy who barely made the cut, shot 70 in round 2, came into today. Obviously a pro who's played in multiple events throughout his career, but he never let off the gas. He knew he was going to have to post a low number today, came out, shot 64, and was just able to leaderboard watch. And there wasn't too many birdies made in those final pairings, just held on, made the playoff. And now he's in position A in the final pairing from the rough. Mack has about 4 feet left.
I'm expecting this to be a very similar shot, fairly low. It's going to hit the green without spin and tumble and roll out.
This one hit out to the right a little bit. It's coming back towards the hole, and back-to-back beauties from Homan and Mack the third. It's going to be a battle of the testers. Homan will play first from about 6 feet out, and Mack from about 5. Two very makeable putts in a high-pressure situation, guys.
You know, you talked about these guys being around for a while. Mack actually grew up in Flint, Michigan, then went to Florida to start his college career down there at a black university, HBCU school. Where
Now here are the guys, and hopefully I'll see you again next year.
I sure hope so. I sure hope so. And this has been a thrill of a lifetime for me, I can tell you that, because, you know, I can only imagine what it was like for my dad to work with me on a baseball game 35 years ago. And here I get a chance to
I've got the easy part. There's a lot of people put a lot of time into this to make it a success.
What does Project Tech do?
Project Tech is a software company.
Okay.
We resell IBM product, software as a service, maintenance and reliability. I'm a UC grad, mechanical engineering, so that's how I stumbled backwards into that. Real straight line career path.
Well, this has just been such a great day, and I sure hope that we can continue to be a part of it. I know you're going to continue to be a part of it. And when you look at this event, what's some of the reception been like when you talk to some of these players? Because the number of them I talked to today said, listen, you know, outside of being maybe on the Corn Ferry or outside, obviously, the PGA, they're like, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. They've passed the word around. I mean, it wasn't hard to field the group we did this year, and they all tell me to a person they'll be back. They love the course, and it's turned into a pretty decent prize. So hopefully we'll continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's been great to see you. Great to have you, Steve Richmond, and the title sponsor of our event again this year, and it's been fantastic. Now, what do we do here? Do we have the presentation out here for the trophy or over there?
It's going to be on the stage where the band's going to be
Oh,
playing.
okay, all right, okay.
And, I guess we've got some other people that want to come up here and chat with you as well.
Okay, I
Thank
think
you
we're
for
waiting
having
on.
me.
Hey, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
it's a pleasure
Really,
to see
really
you again.
appreciate it.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you. Thank you.
And
Thank
we'll
you,
wait
sir,
on
very
Buzz
much.
Dieters to come on up and say hello, the president of the club here. What a day. What a day, my man.
Unbelievable golf, unbelievable finish.
Now, I know
weather.
you think you could have played with those guys today.
All right, sure. 11 under in 3 days, not happening. I mean,
you know I'm kidding you.
Maybe make a putt or two, sure.
Yeah.
I like this looks of this hole 18 for a shorter hitter like myself, but these guys were bombing it well past the flag out to the right and left. So, of course, we saw a couple eagle looks, but nonetheless, a great hole to finish on and be posted up on, too.
No doubt. And Buzz Dieter slipping on the headset for us, the president of the club out here. And, man, how
make their way in this game. It's just so hard.
it is so hard. You know, Luke was a really good high school player, and, you know, there are a lot of guys good high school players, you know. Actually, there aren't a lot of guys good high school players, truth be told. It's a tough game. But I look at the last two guys standing, and Luke, you were the one that pointed it out, that these were two guys that have been professionals going back to 2005, 2006. Can you imagine what some of their days and nights have been like?
Well, I know Wes, and, you know, Wes is a friend of mine, and he's a Cincinnati kid. He's great. He's played in 12 professional events. You know, I only met Willie this week for the first time, and if there's a better shot in that first playoff hole,
no doubt,
from left to that, from right, it was right of the green, left from where we're sitting. That is for someone that plays here, you know, all the time. That's an incredibly hard shot, and he knocks it to a foot. Yeah. So he's very good player.
Yeah.
So when you look at obviously hosting an event like this, what type of work went in to the course? Is in unbelievable shape. Obviously, we talked to some guys; they love it out here. Is there anybody in particular that, you know, deserves credit for just how amazing this track played this week?
Absolutely. Our superintendent, Bob Shetter, has been here 27, going on 28 years. He's a phenomenal superintendent. I'm not preparing a resume for anybody because we're keeping him. But he does an unbelievable job here. The course over the last, you know, half a dozen years has gone under some serious renovation type things where we didn't do anything to change the golf course. We just got rid of a bunch of trees that were harming the turf and things like that. And this was all his plan. He had this on his list to do forever. And we just cut him loose to do it, and he's unbelievable. I mean, he is. If there's a better superintendent in this part of the country, I'd be shocked.
That's high praise.
He's great. He is so good.
That's high praise. And look, you got to give yourself credit too. Let's be honest about it here. I mean, when you know you have members as a club president that want to be out here playing, and you're blocking off the course for a few days. You know how that goes, right?
Sure.
And you get a few of those guys. But then to help out with all the stuff the guys are doing out there, the Wetterick's out there, and Chris out there hustling and selling and all that, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what they do. I mean, these guys, this is a year-round project for them, and I kind of, you know, the best thing I can do is stay out of their way because they're doing such a good job. And to run this thing and it's a long time that they spend on this, and you know, our membership has been fantastically supportive. That's probably not a word, fantastically.
Yeah, that's not.
I don't think it is. But
no, it is.
Is it?
But I thought you were like
enough.
being too kind to members.
No, they have been so supportive of the event. The first year, you know, it kind of grew organically. This was, you know, when anything new is going to be met with some, you know, resistance.
Sure.
But, you know, letting people do their jobs, like our general manager Harry Alexander, like the Wettericks, like Chris Hatke, you know, Steve Richmond's been an incredible supporter of the tournament, and I mean it's and the members, you know, if you look on the signs around the tournament, and you know, those are all members, you know, that have given of their own self, their own money to support this and to support this event and to support these kids. I say kids. I'm 55.
They're kids. They're kids. Not compared to him.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, thanks so much.
No problem.
Buzz, great to see you,
Appreciate it.
man. Great
Good to
to
see you.
Coming on.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having us out here today.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Thanks.
Clovernook Country Club. Just about 10 minutes north, 15 minutes north, max, downtown Cincinnati. Kind of nestled right in here. And we got the champion coming up before we get out of here today. Willie Mack III. Can't wait for this. It's pretty cool.
Unbelievable. Heck yeah. See what, I mean, definitely has some words to talk about
He
how
knew
that
you were
thing
here.
finished. Sure. We knew he was here.
Hey, man. How you
Good,
doing?
Harry. You can grab this and throw this on right here.
Willie, I'm Tom. He's Luke. I got to ask you, man. You know, you were going to start this. Go ahead, because you got better questions.
We
than
were
I do.
just, I mean, unbelievable. All 3 go-arounds on 18. Obviously, you came in at 11 under in front of the leaders on your actual round.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of had a chance to, make birdie. You hit it, in the trees over there. And that just, the thought process behind, the stinger that stopped in the rough and released. And then the flop shot here was unbelievable. What was going through your mind?
In regular play, I was thinking that I could just, if I hit it past the pin, the rough would kind of stop it and maybe get a up and down. But I think I got lucky, just getting it barely over the bunker. It kind of stopping into the rough, and I gave myself a putt at it. I hit it too far past the first putt, but luckily I made it, and I actually had that same putt on the second playoff hole, so I knew the break, and it was perfect.
It's unbelievable. So a win like this at the Clovernook Open, you come out here, you play 3 days, obviously the Pro-Am the day before as well. Just unbelievable effort, wire to wire.
I have full Corn Ferry staff. I lost my card. Even though I didn't keep my card, I think in my head I did grow as a golfer, and I did get better. So I have that positive mindset going forward. But I'm going to Arizona tomorrow for the Talking Stick Invitational in Arizona, and then I have U.S. Open sectionals a couple weeks after that, and hopefully I can play good in that.
Right.
They're fast and a lot of hills, but I think I picked either Springfield or Columbus.
I got you.
Yes,
I got you.
I
I
have
know that
good vibes
David
coming
Wetterick's playing at Springfield, but he's a coach, the golf coach up there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, you've had a lot of success, and you mentioned the Corn Ferry and all that, and we talked a lot about you when you were out there playing today. But they said, you know what, I got to go do something else.
Yeah, it's almost good.
Amen. Amen. Well, congratulations. $20,000, man.
Right.
I want to be you today.
Thank you.
Thank you for
right.
joining us. We appreciate it. Congratulations, the
Thank you.
champion
We're
of
really
the
happy
Clovernook
for you.
Open.
Thank you.
Really
Appreciate it.
I think that's it for the broadcast, no? Anybody else?
That's going to be all.
Well, no better way to end it than having Willie Mack III and the champion of the 2024 Clovernook Open join us. For all of Chatterbox Sports, Tom Brenneman, Luke Brenneman, and everybody else involved, we thank you guys for tuning in, and we say so long from Clovernook Country Club.